looking ahead at your Monday, Court.
Kelly, that's right. Good morning. And is what we're seeing outside right now, let's get a live look at the Highway 32 and Main Street area of downtown Chico. We do not have any impacts as far as the forecast is concerned, despite the fact that we did have a bit of thunderstorm activity across the Sierra and Southern Cascades last night. Checking in with your air quality as we're getting ready to take on the work week. It's still mostly in the good range. This should animate in just a second here. It's going to show you these dots that do show us what we're seeing in our different reporting sites across our region. I'm going to go ahead and go backwards and then advance again. There we are. Those green dots showing you air quality mostly in the good range as we're starting off your morning. And there's really not any reason to think that that's going to dip at all throughout the day today. You might want the light extra layer on your way out the door. We have temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s in the valley right now, 50s to mid 60s in the foothills, and we're mostly in the 30s in our mountain zones with a few cities still in the 40s. Wind out of the northeast and not very strong. The exception is 6-mile-an-hour winds in Red Bluff, and even that, again, nothing to write home about. And throughout the day today, those winds are staying pretty modest. You can see they're still mostly out of the north this afternoon. That's going to dry things out a little bit, and they do get a little breezy in some of our mountain zones, but we're not even expecting to see really 20-mile-an-hour gusts until later this evening. Briefly in the north end of the valley in Redding and in areas closest to the Oregon border. You can see those winds staying fairly mild over the next few days, still out of the north tomorrow, and then we'll start to see some west winds heading in, or excuse me, east winds for the middle of your work week. But again, not very strong. That's the positive news here, despite the fact that it is very warm and very dry. Seeing satellite and radar showing you clear skies across our region right now. And as you get a look at what's driving our forecast, this ridge of high pressure just to our southeast and the other ridge to our northwest, both combining to leave us with hot, sunny, and dry conditions. Low pressure is actually tracking down off the coast of Southern California today, and that's going to continue to track further south. What we'll see is high pressure to our east and northwest, absolutely dominating our weather pattern, leaving us to these sunny, hot, and dry conditions. I'm going to go ahead and take the icons off the map here and show you just what's going on. You can see these lines here, it's called isobars, and they show you when there's a wide area where we're not seeing much activity. That's because that's just dominated by one area, and that area is high pressure, leaving us warm and dry. But as we head towards your weekend, you start to see a little bit of shower activity closing in on the coast, a few more of these lines indicating an area of low pressure, and that will result in a modest drop in temperatures from this weekend into early next week. So finally, some relief from that heat on the horizon. Highs today, 80s to low 90s in the northern mountains, 70s to mid 80s in the Sierra and Southern Cascades, 70s to mid 80s in the foothills today. And if you're in the valley, it is mid 90s for the northern zones, low to mid 90s in the mid valley for your Monday afternoon. So these are still well above average. The average high temperature for both Chico and Redding on this date would be 83 degrees. And it looks like for Chico, we won't even get down to that until Sunday. Low 90s today through Friday with lows in the upper 50s. Upper 80s Saturday with low 80s finally returning on Sunday but staying sunny. Redding, you'll be seeing mid 90s for today through Wednesday, then upper 90s Thursday and Friday, dipping into the mid 90s Saturday, and then finally falling into those 80s on Sunday with overnight lows hovering between the upper 50s to low 60s all week long.